Hey, and welcome to In the Mouth of the Beast Below. I'm really excited to jump into this game again, because we had to take a week off last week for the convention that I was at. But I'm super excited to dive back into this. Before we get started, though, I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves and their characters, and then we'll pass it on to Leland to take it away. So, starting in the top left, as usual, Par, tell us a little bit about Cliff and yourself.
Hello, hello, hello. Let me just keep it simple for myself. I'm just the guy playing Cliff. Cliff is much more interesting. Cliff Kruskill, though, is a professional fence. He's been performing the fencing life for many years, and it's time to go to a new land and expand his business. Start fresh, get some new experiences going on, and that's where he is right now.
All right. Next, we've got Nate, or What is Kiss? Tell us a little bit about Fleetfoot Mac and yourself.
Yep, Nathan and Nathaniel, never Nate. And I am Fleetfoot Mac. Fleetfoot Mac is an investigator and a halfling, constantly on the tail of someone known as Stanley DeCoveney. He is a spire of mysterious vagrants rowing into the night and savior of humble old men being beaten in the streets. Obviously a Cancer moon.
Obviously.
That's what I was thinking.
All right. Next, we've got Stace. Tell us a little bit about Flippa and yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Stace. I go by Stace Windu around the internet. I do podcasts. I'll talk more about it at the end. It's called Explorers Wanted. Check it out. And Squire Flippa is mostly absent. So I'm not sure what she got up to last episode when the group got together and played, but she is a Camel Centaur Squire, and she is very young and very excited to prove herself.
All right. Next, we've got Nikki. Tell us a little bit about Daisy and yourself.
Daisy is a halfling peasant who seems to like to really be super sweet and swindle people too. If she can, she seems to be doing it a lot. And I'm Nikki. I'll probably forget to tell you, but I'm going to tell you later.
All right. And then I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which includes all the different things that I do, most of which are tabletop related. You can find all my stuff at my link tree right there in chat. And then I play Katanova, who's also a Grendel. She's more of like a satyr kind of person, and has really big horns, like you can see on the lovely art. We've all got art on our video frames now. Thanks for getting all that for us, Leland. And yeah, she's a socialite anarchist, so her whole deal is mingling with nobles and getting to know them, and sowing seeds of discord and trying to bring down the system from within. So, very fun character. And then Leland, take it away. Tell us about this awesome world and yourself.
Hey everybody, I am Leland / Leopold the Just. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Steam, LinkedIn, all that stuff at Leopold the Just. Even my email if you have any business inquiries. But yes, I am a social media consultant / coordinator for a number of different companies, and freelance pro bono social media consultant for the Black Feather Guild, because I love this place. No, I'm just kidding. Sort of, I don't know, maybe I am. Let's see, I'm really excited about this game. It is a horror exploration RP heavy character driven kind of experience. Hopefully those are a lot of buzzwords, but yeah, it's good ones.
Social
And-
media, that SEO.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, collaborative. Let me throw that one in the hashtag collaborative. yeah, so it's titled Below the Beast's Butt or Mouth, one of the two. Um, and I don't know, it's on the overlay. You can go look at it. It's a long title, kind of dumb. But anyway, they are currently on a sea journey because, uh, you know, trying to get out of Dodge. Dodge being some town, some port metropolis called Silo. Uh, and during last session, the ship was readied throughout the day. The group, basically helped out a bit by going and acquiring some sails, while Kata was unfortunately asked to do some pack animal BS by the crew and try and help carry some extra loads of cargo that day. So that's why she was preoccupied last episode. But the remainder of the group was asked to go and complete a transaction to get some new sails for the ship. The old ones are battered and in need of replacement, so they were sent off. The person who originally made the transaction, well, let's just say that the person that created the sails was a bit of a scorned lover of the ship's boatswain, and so he needed the group to go and handle the business for him mostly. And anyone else he could trust was busy for the day. So, and he said he got a pretty good read on everybody. So he sent them on down there to make the transaction. And well, they happened upon a scuffle, a knife scuffle. It's called a knife fight also. And some bandit slash goon, I like the word goon, was sitting there about to stab the guy that they were meant to make the transaction with, this dwarven fellow named Kino, and he with a very elaborately braided beard, if I remember Nathan describing it correctly. But anyway, so this guy's about to get stabbed. They both have stilettos, and anyway, he gets a gut shot from the bandit, and that's when the group intervenes with the word of mouth, and they just intimidated and scared the crap out of the guy, and he just dropped his knife and ran. And then they went and bandaged up the Kino, which was the NPC that they were the tailor that they were buying the sails from. Went and bandaged him up and convinced him, even though they saved him, he still needed convincing for the deal. That's how much of a scorning he and his ex-partner, the boatswain of the ship, had underwent. So he still took some convincing, but it was a bit easier due to the whole life-saving scenario. But so that went through. We demonstrated some of the social mechanics of the game, which were fun in my opinion. Now we have tokens that we can even use instead of having to do have everyone draw their initials. But anyway, and so we pretty much left off with everyone going to sleep that night on the ship as it had set sail, and I randomly had chosen a character. It happened to be Fleetfoot Mac. He was out on the deck that night around 2 a.m. and he saw something that it took him a moment to recognize, but he actually had the background knowledge to understand what it was. But he saw an old man in tattered robes rowing on a boat, repeating the words. I've got it right here. Just give me 1 second. Repeating the words, one day he shall rise and the earth will drift beneath. And he was just repeating it over and over. You could tell his throat was really dry. It was really dehydrated. It seemed to have, in retrospect, in your memory, Fleetfoot, you did notice a lot of his foodstuffs were expired or just empty. Any sort of crates of vegetables that he might have brought along with him was empty. So this guy was starving and unable to, obviously dehydrating. he realized that this was a cultist of Leviathan, who's considered kind of normally harmless, but there are some quote unquote conspiracy theories that they participate in human sacrifice via drowning. And Fleetfoot Mac has actually worked a case like that in the past, so we recognize what this was. This was a pilgrimage that their new members undergo. They row out into the middle of the sea here, which is very dangerous, and they stop, or basically they're taken out on a ship, let go on a rowboat, and they're just meant to basically make their way back on a near week-long journey. It's quite a initiation ritual. But anyway, so Fleetfoot went to sleep that night, and we're gonna go ahead and start the game off the next morning. And before we get going, I'd like to say a special thank you to our character artist John Riggins, and as well as Alex, aka Canned Chaos Art at Canned Chaos Art. They drew a lot of the characters that you'll see that are cameos from my home game. Truffle being an example, which was the which I forgot to mention. They encounter last session, before going and doing the mission by the sails, they encountered someone from my home group who is an orc jester, and his pig sidekick doing a routine. So that was really fun. My character the player in my home group who plays the character absolutely loved everyone's reactions with him, especially Cliff's reaction about how I definitely know this guy. He absolutely loved that. But anyway, so that was a cool one. But yeah, you'll see more art done by Alex, and also Travis Hansen for some art that we're actually about to drop today. And then to Raven Evermore, obviously, for hosting, not only hosting the game and producing it, but for the promotional materials, the overlays, and our fortune and misfortune tokens that we'll be using. Sorry, this is extensive. I'm using a lot of art. Also to Asgar's fantasy map generator. Look it up. It is amazing. That is AZGAAR, Asgar's fantasy map generator. It is awesome. That is the map, like the world maps that you'll see in this game will all be generated by that. It's completely free and completely commercial. You can commercial use. The licenses are all there. It's amazing. Also to Kevin McLeod, Tabletop Audio, my pal Paul Melanson, who happens to be the guy who plays the Jester, as well as this one I just added, the Rocky Shores of Scotland, for the music and sounds, because that is the waves you're hearing. But anyway, and so let's actually, before we get started, I want to go ahead and let's go ahead and show off the character art we got done. I've showed it off all over Twitter, but I have not showed it off on stream yet. I just want to go through the characters real quick, if that's okay. Is that something you can sort of host, since you have the art on your end, Raven?
We can pull it up on Roll20 if you'd like. I don't currently have them loaded into into Streamlabs, aside from
okay.
the busts on the overlay.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't think. Okay, actually, yes, I can do this. So you're on the world map here, right?
Yeah.
All right. So could you go to the map screen?
Yeah, we're there now.
Sort of. All right, yeah, and just sort of back out. I can actually just pull the art out like this. All right, so this is Cliff Cruskill. If you have that aligned on the screen.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
Or I'll put the rest of them. All right, so that is our ogre fence, Cliff Cruskill, played by Mr. Par 4E over here. He's got a killer spice blend to sell you. All right, and my internet sucks so bad. I'm just seeing a fuzzy image. Is that not the case for you, Raven? Is that good?
No, it's coming through good? Clear for Cruskill, yeah.
Okay, Good. That's all that matters. Let me delete that. All right. And so next we will do Squire Flippa of Kalos, played by the incredibly talented and soon to be living camel, I hope, Stace Windu. She's been practicing her camel noises, as a good player should.
The world is not ready for those noises.
One day. I'll just have to send you like a $5 on PayPal. I'll be like, come on, next.
Camel noise.
All right, and so that is Squire Flippa of Kalos, and next we will do Fleetfoot Mac, played by the awesome Nathan King / What Is Kiss at Twitter and elsewhere. This is the investigator extraordinaire, walking mustache, Stanley Duchovny bloodhound.
Actual size right there.
Tobacco
It's just-
connoisseur. Actual size, yes, very big.
It's not tobacco.
Oh, all right. Cigarette connoisseur. Don't ask
No.
what's in it. All right, and then we've got Catanova, played by the awesome Raven. This is our flirtatious satyr with horns that I think you should give you a gore attack. I don't know. We should talk about that at some point. Yeah, definitely. We should talk about that and the water retention with the hump. Like maybe toss 50 XP at it or something, and then you just learn how to use those horns for battle, because those are gnarly. But anyway.
Though I think using those in battle might be considered a little bit too gauche for Kata.
Oh yeah, don't want to get the hair messed up. But first of all, there's lots of product in there. And we will move on, and then we will lastly but not leastly show off Daisy Flora, the lovely halfling guilt tripper. She is ready to get some coins off of you in whatever way necessary. It might be pickpocketing. I don't know. It could be something she learns in the future. All right. It's just distract them with the missing hand and use the current hand for the pickpocketing. All right. Yeah. And also, I would like to point out that this art file had the most kilobytes in it, and I'm thinking it's the hair. All those scribblies. Took up a lot of data.
It does look like it's got a lot of layers in the picture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that one was almost a megabyte after compressed. All right. All
Such
right.
good art.
And yeah, I know. Yeah, he's a good artist, and so is everyone involved in this, though, which I'm actually about to show off some more in just a minute. Anyway, so now that I've shown off that art, we can go ahead and get started for the game itself. All right. Sorry about that. I just been waiting to do that, and I want to I don't know, save that somewhere on my computer.
Very cool.
All right, so we are on with this is episode 4, session 3. Because we had a session 0, and so let's begin. You each awaken roughly around the same time again this morning. Not necessarily that you were given a loud, thundering wake-up call, but just the sheer level of activity on this ship at this current hour, which is apparently when the daytime shift starts, would only allow for a stone to sleep through it. Each of you, just as I'm one to do, I feel like this is a good way for everybody to sort of get into their characters, both viewer and player. So I try to include little things like this at the very beginning. If it is something that the viewers don't like or the players don't like, please let me know. But I would like to go around the room, and everyone had, I wouldn't necessarily say a very restful night's sleep. You each, for whatever reason, had your own nightmare. I would like you all to come up with what that nightmare is. And I'm going to actually award you corruption based on how scary it is. So that's how we're going to use corruption for the first time in this game, because I forgot to use it last time.
So is corruption a good thing then?
No, it is not. So no, award, yes, award corruption. We're gonna use the word award. I don't care if you have any problems with it. But yes, so but no, it's not. It's meant to be something that really is, and it like accrued like every session. So this is just kind of like something baked into the game I have. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up.
Okay.
All right, so whoever wants to go first and tell us and the viewers what their nightmare was about.
Okay, can I just tell you something first before I start on Squire Flippa's nightmare? And that is that camels sleep adorably.
Oh my god. Okay, yes, no, that's perfect context.
I encourage everybody to look up camels sleeping. Just Google it and then go to Google Images. There's plenty there for you to enjoy. So yeah, see, Squire Flippa's. I don't know how many scary points I'm going to get because I think it's pretty personal to Flippa's psychology.
That's
But-
actually I'm actually going to ask you a question at the end about how relating to that to sort of help me decide. I'm going to basically award you points based on how much it scares me and how much it scares your character too. So.
Ooh, okay. So it starts out at a tournament, just a spectacular, right? A lot of fanfare. This is where they do the joust, they do the melee, and all of that. And Squire Flippa is lining up on her side of the jousting rail. And she's got her lance and her armor, and she's wearing a helmet, and she's dressed like the knight that she isn't yet. And across from her on a large black steed in black armor is her opponent. And the crowd is all around her. They're very loud and engaged. And so they're giving the go to start. And Squire Flippa starts to thunder down her side of the rail. She braces her lance. She points it at the other knight, trying to dislodge them right from their horse and win. And when she gets 2 feet away from the knight, her legs and knees just lock up on their own. She finds herself stumbling and flipping forward. And as she looks up from her place on the ground, this large knight comes and stands over her with their blade, flips up their visor, and there is nothing there. And then the crowd dissipates in smoke. The jousting rails fade away. It's just her staring into this nothingness as the blade comes down.
Oof. And how rattled is she the next morning from that?
Very.
Very okay. I like that. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and throw 2 corruption up at the top of your character sheet.
Okay.
All right, and that was awesome, by the way. I like that. And you're right about it not being like super terrifying, but like from a personal, like given your character's backstory, that is terrifying. So. Or your character's aspirations, really, as well. Whoever wants to go next is welcome to go.
I think you might be muted there, Nathan.
I'll
Still
go
up.
then.
There we go.
So after seeing this cultists take their boat back, and after being on the same ship, we're on the same ship, correct?
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That
For the next like 11 days, you'll be on the same ship, probably.
that the 3 crewmates who also drowned in their cabins were on. There's a lot of freaky stuff happening. However, none of it had to do with Fleetfoot's dream, as disturbing as it was. He went to bed per usual and had like a pretty kind of sort of like a dreamless sleep. And he gets up, stretches, and looks out and realizes it's still nighttime. And kind of turns back to go back to sleep, and he's sleeping there. And he realizes, oh, it's a dream, and he wakes up and he looks out and it's still nighttime, and he kind of gets up cautiously towards the window to look out, and it's him in a boat, but not in the same boat that the cultist was at. It's just him, like, fine, the most serene look on his face. He's just waving to himself, and he realizes, this is a dream. He wakes up. It's still the middle of the night, but he's sweating, and he looks over, and in the bed next to him, it's Sigourney Weaver, but she doesn't exist in this universe, so it's weird. And he's just like, who is this? And he wakes up, and it's like morning.
Oh no. Well, the Sigourney Weaver thing definitely topped it off for me in terms of terrifying. It's like you know she's famous, but you don't know why. You know, that's terrifying. That did not scare me very much, but how bad did it scare old Stanley?
Stanley wants no corruption points, so it was just very unsettling.
Unsettling. All right, 1 corruption point then for you. That's fun. That's fun. Fine by me. I see. You don't want to get corrupted. There's cool mutations just waiting to happen at any moment. The more corrupt you get.
I thought the ooze was in the Warhammer game, not in this game.
Oh, it's in this one too. It's just named different for copyright reasons. It's copyright safe ooze. And it's
similar
like
to, but
hardened.
legally distinct from.
Yes, exactly. Similar to, but legally distinct from Witchstone. All right, so that's anybody else want to go with kind of sort of what sort of nightmare their character had the night before waking up the next morning?
I think I've got one for Kata. So in Kata's dream, it is the middle of the night, and in the dream she wakes up from some noise outside on the deck, a shriek or a scream, something like that. It's very muffled. It's hard to make out. As she throws the covers off and steps out of the bed, and thanks for that host. As she steps out of the bed, throws off the covers, it's very cold in the room, like just freakishly cold. So she grabs a cloak and just sort of wraps it around her. And as she slowly steps towards the door, the floorboards of the cabin are just unusually creaky. Just when you're trying to be quiet, like if you've ever like gone to the kitchen in the middle of the night at while you're staying over at your grandma's house or something like that, and you're trying to be quiet, not wake anybody up, and every floorboard's creaky, like
Yes.
that's the type of situation. But she's trying to not be heard because there's screaming and things happening outside. So she winces with every single step as she gets to the door. And it's freezing and she can see her breath. And she cracks the door open a little bit and it just makes that noise, very loud. She curses under her breath as she tries to stay quiet. And when she opens the door, suddenly she's no longer in her cabin. She's in the middle of the top deck of the ship. And all around her are bodies of the crew just like ripped open. Look like they've been hacked and slashed with cutlasses, and then some of them look like they've been ripped apart by like wild animals. There's claw marks and things like that. And as she's looking around trying to figure out what on earth is causing this, what happened, there's this moaning sound and this scratching sound as the zombie versions of all the different nobles that she's caused trouble for back where we're leaving from are just crawling over the side of the ship and start crawling across the deck. Legs aren't working. They're just very rickety looking zombies. And right as they're about to reach her, and one of them like grabs onto her leg, she wakes up again, still in the dream, and gets up, and it's a cold morning, and so she grabs that cloak and notes that this seems eerily familiar, trying to shake off the dream while she's in a dream. And then the most terrifying part of all, she leaves the room, goes to the galley, and finds out there's no coffee left on the ship. And that's when she wakes up, for real.
Well, 3 corruption. 3 corruption. I'm just kidding. How was that for Kata? How unnerved is she when she wakes up?
A pretty unnerved. Like it was a very vivid dream, and very unsettling to wake up in a dream.
Oh yeah.
And then wake up for real and have that feeling of like, am I still dreaming?
Oh yeah, no, that hasn't
So
happened to me in a
pretty
while.
unsettling. She's probably
Got
a
it,
little bit
okay.
paranoid for like at least the rest of the morning, if not the rest of the day.
All right, I'm gonna assign you 2 corruption as well.
All right. Also, thank you, Michael Wayne, as well for the host, and for the $8 donation for an advantage to Nikki. So on your next roll, or whenever you'd like to use an advantage, you can, or in this case, it's flip dice rather than advantage. So you can
flip to succeed. Yeah, which I'll explain how that works. It's basically just like a advantage in D&D, but just mechanically a bit different.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can explain that better than I can.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, a quick explanation of how it works is, like, let's say you rolled all right. So if everybody could go to our roll 20 thing here, and you see this bottle bomb example from Daisy I was using earlier just to show you what it does. Let's just say that 99 was a 93. If she had flipped to succeed, actually, if it was a 93 over 48 and she had flipped to succeed, it would become a 39 under 48 and she would pass it. So you basically flip the digits to see if it passes or not. And if it does, then it passes. There's also a flip to fail version, which is like a disadvantage. But I'm really quick about like figuring that out. So no one has to worry about like getting confused about that if that is at all confusing. But anyway, so awesome. That is super handy. Well, okay. Do you? All right. Nikki's having some home issues with her taking care of her kids. But Nikki, if you have a minute, if you want to describe your character's nightmare, you can quickly before you have to run and do that.
I'll try to.
If you can, yeah, it can be something real quick. Just or if you want to go after, I don't want to throw you on the spot. It's up to you. You don't even have to go at all if now's a bad time for something like that.
Oh, I can try.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I just keep hearing
okay.
noises.
No, okay, it's okay. Yeah.
Maybe yeah. So she this is the nightmare. She wakes up and there's noises outside of her cabin.
Oh no.
And she opens it, doesn't see anybody. So she closes it to like try to finish getting ready for her day, and then she hears the noises again. So she opens it and she sees someone outside with a basket, like begging. An actual child that's begging. She feels bad, but she just gives the child one small coin, and she closes the door again, and then she hears the noise. So she opens it again, and it's 2 kids begging. They're both identical.
Oh, no. That's terrifying.
And she gives the other child a coin, and she closes the door and hears more noise. And there's 3 identical kids like staring at her with baskets, begging. So she heads over the 3rd coin, and instead of closing the door, she goes outside and she's not on the ship anymore. She's in a farming town, and behind her there's several of the kids just with their baskets. And she
Oh,
doesn't have
no.
enough coins,
Oh, of
so she
course.
starts to run, and she ends up in a field of corn with the kids all around her. They're now the corn, and then she wakes up.
The children of the corn. All right, yeah, that was pretty scary. Is she how does
I
she
love
feel?
that.
Just like stressed out because of that, or like legitimately
Yeah.
creeped out, or just
Very
'cause that
creeped
sounds
out.
stressful as well. Like I have
Very
these
creeped out.
recurring dreams where I have these little kittens that I have to take care of, but they keep escaping my yard and running off and getting lost in the woods. That's so scary. All right, that was good. I will put the corruption in. If you need to talk to your kid, I will put the corruption in your character sheet real quick.
Okay, yeah, I have to go charge an iPad.
All right, all
But
right.
yeah,
I'll
she's
put-
very upset in the morning and just kind of doesn't get ready all the way and just is zombie-fied.
Got it. All right.
How many
2
corrup-
corruption.
Okay, I'll be right back.
If Daisy's acting like a zombie, Kata might be a little bit sus. Of,
Oh, no.
of-
Yeah, I know,
of Daisy
right?
the next morning.
Oh no. Oh, that's terrifying. All right. And then if you and Cliff, if you want to go next and tell us about your nightmare.
Hello, are you reading me loud and clearly?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. I'm sort of understanding what's happening. We'll see how that goes. Sorry. So, you want to know what makes a man like Cliff Kruskill worried, scared, a little bit terrified, maybe disturbed? Why don't I tell you? When Cliff started this business, he started out as a daddy's boy. His father always told him, son, what makes a good businessman is how much you care, how much you take care of the little guy. But Cliff learned quickly that even the little guy can screw you over just as easily as any big guy could. See, Cliff, he's gotten used to using people, many people. And over time, as he's used more people and more people have used him, he started to care less and less about the people he interacts with. A good friend passes away. It's a dark business. People killed every day. He doesn't care about that. Runners, simply doing their job, run down. Not a care in the world. He fears that maybe one day someone will tell him his father has passed, and he won't even care then. If a good businessman is made by caring for the people that you serve, how long will Cliff do good business? Turning a profit? That's fine. But to really get to the heart of Cliff Kruskill, you gotta owe him a favor. And how much a favor's worth is how much effort he puts into it. So, perhaps one day, everyone will be gone, but Cliff will be there with a mountain of favors. No one around.
Excellent. I like that. Just like, man. Yeah, no, that's like depressing on like some existential kind of like ways. Definitely. Okay, so how much of a crisis are you in the next morning after that dream?
I think it's something Cliff has thought about a lot over the years, as he sort of just, over time, it's a thing that he's just like experiencing in real time, like just the caring a bit less and a bit less as days pass.
So it's just more of a reminder kind of to him than anything.
Yeah. So he's like, this is familiar.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'll give you
I'm working
one
a very
corruption
familiar
as well as Fleetfoot there. So one
Yes.
corruption. There's a big circle at the top. So everybody else got 2, and you all got 1. So Keep in mind that's not still not a very high number of corruption. You'll find out at the very end why. But anyway, all right. So after you all wake up and get your things ready, most of you are, everyone but Fleetfoot has agreed to work, which is why you're all 3 gold coins richer. So yeah, regardless, you've been once you all are kind of making your way up to the deck to sort of like kind of mainly see what's going on, but also kind of get get your duties for the day, for some of you. This is when the captain approaches you. So if are you still on the map screen to be able to show off art?
I will take us back over there.
All right, yeah, take us back over there. This is some
There we
art done
go.
by Travis Hansen. Travis Hansen does the comic book Life of the Party, Realities of the TTRPG. It's very funny, as always, like just some like quality dad humor, which makes sense because Travis is a dad. But he's a very cool guy, and they are actually doing a Kickstarter right now by Kwood Publishing. Him and Kwood Publishing and Andrew Kwood from Kwood Publishing and Travis Hansen doing the art. It's a monster manual called Monsters of the Wilderness. Check it out. Just Google Kickstarter Monsters of the Wilderness. Random plug in the middle of the game. Anyway, but yeah, it's very cool. It's, if you like monster manual, you play D&D and you like monster manuals, then there you go. It's good. And all the art is drawn by this guy that I'm about to show off the art to. So this woman of large stature comes walking up to you. This is the captain whom you briefly met before. This is Captain Harriet Saltblade III. She clearly looks like a merchant captain. The skull pauldrons are just aesthetic. Pay no mind. Sorry, yeah. All right. So yes, this is Captain Harriet Saltblade, and she walks up, followed by some characters I do not have art for. She walks up, followed by Lyro Fishman, which is a fellow you met during the first session of the game. He was one of her like cronies hanging out in that private room at the inn when you all went and introduced yourselves. He was the tall fellow that was up in the corner adjusting something on the wall. I can't remember exactly what he was doing, but he's a tall, kind of lanky human. Kind of looks like Doug Jones from horror movie fame. But if you don't know who Doug Jones is, go look him up. He's awesome. He's probably been in one of your favorite movies before and you just didn't know it because he was in a monster costume. But yeah, this guy kind of looks like him. And then you also see let's say Percy Prancestone, the halfling fellow that assigned you the job to go and get the sales yesterday. They all 3 kind of walk up to you. And the captain speaks and says, "Oh, there they are. There's our passengers."
Thank you!
Well, passenger and his worker friends. Glad to see you're all up. Did you sleep well?
Real quick, thank you so much, Michael, for gifting that tier 1 subscription to Nathan. Nathan, you can do a. We don't have any tokens to flip at the moment, but we can bank that, or you can give one player a flip dice. Advantage equivalent, essentially.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
Excellent. Now you can decide where the flip dice goes, and you're in the game. Oh, I like Fleetfoot Mac. He's my favorite.
Yeah, if you'd like to give yourself one, that's fine.
Yeah, I have, as a GM, if I had any say so, I would not care either. I think that's fun. All right, so, but yeah, she just looks at you all and says, just sort of heartily asked you if you all slept well.
Kata looks
Just peachy.
just peachy. Kata looks over and she's already got like a big cup of coffee and is just doesn't look like she slept at all. She's like, no, I did not sleep well.
Fleetfoot plainly says, I think the 3 people of your crew were murdered.
Okay, yeah, we will definitely discuss that later then.
Well, the
you know,
suspect might get away later, but
oh well, soon then. Like I joked about earlier, I just sort of walk around and make sure people are doing their job. So you can just contact me at any moment, wave at me, I'll walk on over. All right. Anyway, who do you think murdered them?
I have no idea.
All right.
But it seems like an inside job.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if any of my crewmates are talented enough or mystical enough to cause someone to drown like they did. It was pretty mysterious. Our surgeon says it honestly didn't make too much sense to her.
Did anyone follow with an investigation after they found the bodies?
We saw them go into the rooms and not come out. We had a couple of different people on guard.
And
any recent hires?
You all.
He kind of turns around and sees everyone else like, oh.
Yeah, you all. They were the recent hires before. We picked them up over in Reykjavik, and then they died in their rooms.
So all of the recent hires have passed away. None left.
Well. And she points over to the Skurzak / Ratfolk character. Kai's new.
Interesting.
Kai's still
All your
alive.
new staff gone except for one.
Well, I mean, we've
That's
taken
all
on
I'm
new
saying.
staff before. Oh, yeah, I understand, but we've taken on new staff in the past, and no one's gone missing. This is kind of a new thing. But yes, first, I think we might need to try and brainstorm about how they drowned while lying in bed with no water around. But yes, anyway, well, this was a much different topic of conversation I expected when walking over here. But that's okay.
To be fair, you did ask how we were doing and how we slept.
That is true.
And I have yet to answer that question. Oh.
What were you expecting?
Yes, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I was gonna make fun of you for not having your sea legs yet. That's something I always do when we take on passengers, but kind of not the right mood for that joke. I'm sure I'll use it later. Anyway, yeah, just wanted to say thanks for making sure Kino was saved from that goon, and you got the sails and everything. Look at these buttes, working perfectly. We had so many patches into the other ones. Hell, I think I had a cloak up there at some point used to patch up the thing. But yeah, these are perfect. Finely crafted. Thank you all again for taking care of that. We wouldn't be on the water now if it wasn't for you. You know that.
Kata just looks at the captain over the rim of her mug of coffee and just kind of does the don't mention it.
Not awake yet.
So Squire Flippa stomps her back foot as she does when she wants attention. And she goes, have we entered pirate infested waters yet, Captain?
Yes, definitely, actually. But we haven't spotted any other ships in this lane for a while. We're trying a new lane this time. It's been tested before, though, by some comrades of mine, some other ship captains.
So how?
So maybe we'll dodge them all. Maybe we'll dodge them all completely.
I mean, but we don't have to. I think.
Oh, so you want You want to go with them, huh?
Oh
Some
yeah,
of the Marauders.
some action, right?
Well,
The
if that
thrill
is if
of
they can,
battle.
that is if they can get close enough. We got some new cannons recently that don't mess around. Let's put it that way.
Can I see these cannons?
Oh yeah, sure. They're below the deck here. We'll get the what are they called? Yeah, we'll get you talking to our powder guy, Boyle's Bull.
Thank you.
I actually do not have an ancestry for Boyle's Bull, so if anybody wants to toss one out, that's fine.
I mean, with the name Bull in there, some kind of Grendel I think would be great.
Yeah, it feels
Sounds
like
good.
Grendel is fitting for sure.
Boyle's Bull, Grendel. Got it. Excellent. All right. I forgot to do that for Bull. Oh, Boyle's Bull. Anyway, so yeah, basically, I think I can't remember what they're called. Powder mates.
Powder monkeys.
Powder monkeys. Yeah. Okay. So, so this guy is the ship's powder monkey, Boyle's Bull. He basically keeps, if you come in there, even smelling like cigarette smoke, he'll pat you down and make sure you don't have any sparks lit on you or any sort of kind of smoke. All right. And, but yeah, she also, she looks around and says, anyway, looks over at Kata and says, sorry for not having satin sheets for you in the hammocks. Is that why you didn't sleep so well?
Again, there's the I do not require satin sheets. However, nightmares are a different matter that kept me up.
Yeah.
Or at least, what's the word? I did not sleep well. It was a restless sleep, that was the word.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't sleep too great myself either.
Yes, in my dream you were, sleep was no longer a problem for you. It was quite disturbing.
Well, hopefully the good wine we keep on the ship will help you deal with that.
One can only hope.
The sheets might not be great, but the wine's good.
That is generally the more important part.
She looks over at Cliff. Hey, I heard about a spice blend you were selling someone at our party the other night. I'm something of a cook myself. That sounds like something this ship could use as a spice blend. You interested in talking to the cook sometime soon? But maybe implementing it into our meals?
Oh, I would absolutely love to talk price.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
gotta
definitely.
twist my arm to get it, but
yeah, definitely. Nothing's free on this
Absolutely.
ship anyway.
of
Well, that
course
sounds-
not. Nothing in life should be free.
Nope. I agree with you there, Cliff. And she sort of reaches out and does the secret ogre handshake.
Oh yes, I accept.
Exactly.
Except though, Cliff looks just a little bit displeased.
Wasn't a good handshake.
Momentary displeasure, and then just show face. I love all my customers. I love them.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Even the ones that are gung ho about their ogre ways. Let's see. All right. She looks over to Flippa and motions to the hump on her back and says, "How long you keep water in that thing?" Just curious, honestly.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily keep water in it. It's a spongy material, right? That absorbs it. So it's not like a tank. That's kind of a rude question, honestly.
Oh well. Oh, sorry. Actually, you know what? I don't apologize on my own
But
shit.
I'll probably won't use up any of your water stores while we're traveling for these 11 days. So
Oh, that sounds good to me. We've got plenty of water and plenty of wine. You store wine in that same sponge?
it doesn't seem to store wine. I've experimented with that in the past. It just seems to be water.
Damn, that sucks.
Very practical.
It's unfortunate. You could stay drunk for hours with that thing if it worked that way, yeah.
Well, I would never. I mean, you have to go back on duty at some point.
Oh, yeah, duty. That's right.
Yeah.
I've got to go make sure some of the others are doing their jobs. Let's see. Daisy, is that your name? Daisy. Yeah, Daisy. All right. Why don't you go see the surgeon and get some of those nasty bandages replaced? You know that's how you get infections, right?
Just gonna stare with like wide eyes.
But yeah, she's got something for you. Just go talk to her. She's on down on the 2 decks below. You'll see it. We got signage set up for these drunk assholes whenever they hurt themselves, so they can find their way easily. And then she sort of smacks Percy Prancestone, the little halfling guy that you met before, and he's just sort of chuckles, like obviously he's the drunk one. That she's
I
talking
need
about.
coffee. I didn't sleep well.
She's got coffee down there.
It's quite strong today.
Yeah, I think I need some. I'm gonna get
Excellent.
coffee before I go down there.
And she sort of she walks off and leaves leaves you all with Percy. And Percy comes up and well, hello. Think I got some jobs to hand out to a few of you, at least. Pretty sure 4 of you are my workers for the rest of this journey, so can't take it easy on you. I like you, but I can't take it too easy on you. How about I make you a deal? How about I let you all choose? I got some jobs here. We need some people helping with pulling the lines. Because sometimes we gotta shift the sails. So we need the cook is always looking for somebody to help chop veggies and stuff. So if anybody's good at that.
I believe this would be my job.
That sounds good. I'll mark you down. All right. Well, we've got some. Just so we don't have to carry too much food, we actively fish from the rear of the ship. So anybody wants to help do some net fishing back there, we got that going on. Obviously the deck needs to stay clean. We got some mops and stuff like that. And probably the job no one's gonna want to take, but someone might need to take it. We do actively need to keep our the contents of our toilet dumped, so that's something's got to be done. We got
I'll
a little
mop.
bit. All right, you'll mop. All right, sounds good. Points to like a closet, actually, like a maintenance closet that's over on the deck, just nearby where you're standing. One of you might need to help with sorting some cargo down in the hold too. So, any volunteers on some of these other jobs?
I'll help with the cargo. Stay in
All right.
shape, prime condition for any, fighting.
Yeah, fighting. Hopefully we don't run into any of that. We're just trying to make it from point A to point B. But it's almost guaranteed to happen at some point.
Good.
So this isn't the safest dirty. Why do you think we've got a bunch of cannons on the boat? Cliff, what can I get you? What can I get you marked down as for the day?
Cliff, who's halfway walked across the deck, suddenly pauses and looks very confused. Sorry, excuse me, John.
Weren't you signed up to work with us? those of you that exchanged your three, was your character one that also didn't agree to exchange the gold out of character? Because when at the first session, everybody was given the option to get 3 gold coins back to basically work, to be considered workers on the journey, and I wasn't sure if your character agreed to do that or not. You can also retcon your decision if you would like. If you
I can't remember, but I don't
Let's see
believe
if you have 3 gold.
Yeah, I'll be a
coins.
worker. I'll be a working grunt.
Yeah, you have 6 gold crowns on you, so you would have agreed to it based on how much gold you have on you.
Cliff agreeing to work on a ship
for money. It's 3 gold.
What a misstep.
You can like I said, you can retcon that if you want. Just knock 3 gold off your gold crowns.
Sure.
But anyway, so if you want to, there's pulling lines to adjust sails. Left. There's also dumping the toilet contents, which sounds like the perfect job. I'm just kidding. And there's also fishing at the rear of the ship.
You know, my friend, I have the most spectacular fishing technique. In fact, for a few shillings, you can know my technique.
Oh my god. All right. Roll bargain. Make it set your difficulty to, because this is just kind of like a silly thing that he might not be interested in bargaining. So set it to a kind of a hard bargain. Yeah, I love it when that happens. Hard bargain.
Hard bargain. Oh, that's gonna be okay. Bargain. Where you at? Oh, no. Where you at?
Under fellowship, probably. I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure this will go fine.
Forgot my example character sheet. I closed it.
Jeez, I rolled high.
Let's see. This could be a moment to use. Okay, so do you want to use a fortune?
A fortune. How does a fortune work again?
You just here in the middle, you just right click one of these tokens, and you hit flip card, and it turns it into a misfortune token. And what that does is, I have the list here. So this lets you. So using a fortune point lets you to immediately after failing a skill test, unless it was a critical failure, you can re-roll it. You can also spend a fortune point to gain 1 additional action point on your turn, going from 3 action points to 4 action points when you're in combat. And also, you can immediately, when rolling a D6 Chaos or Fury die, you can spend a fortune to treat it as a face value of 6. So what that means is like if you do damage to somebody and they roll to see if they get injuries, you can spend a fortune point to assure that they get an injury, because what you do is you roll d6s, and you're looking for the 6 result. If you get the 6 result, then they get injured. So that's kind of a cool thing to do with can also maximize your damage. You can also maximize like your damage die that way as well. So like if you wanted to do more damage, because the way the damage works in this game is it's explosive. Every time you roll a 6 on the d6, you roll another d6, and you just keep going and keep going and keep going. So you can actually spend fortune points to explode your die basically. But outside of combat, it's mainly just used to re-roll skill checks.
Okay. Well,
I wouldn't be afraid to use
because.
Yeah, we've got.
Well,
plenty.
probably because Cliff is. This is more of a. Like, yeah, I'll try it. Doesn't work.
Yeah, we've got like 6. We've got like 6 tokens, and they haven't seen much use in the game so far. So I encourage you to just use them willy nilly. They go back and forth, because when I use the misfortune, it turns back into a fortune. So. So basically, yeah, just right click it and then hit flip card, and then just re-roll your bargain test.
Sure. I will attempt this again.
It's all good. That's part of the fun of the game, is just getting these free re-rolls. All right, so you still
Oh my-
managed to fail, but it's okay. The guy's like, he seems to be kind of going along with it for a second. It's like, nah, I've got some books I can read in my library about work efficiency, so I'll just read those. But yeah, if I ever need any tips, I'll definitely contact you. But yeah, you're signed up to work, so you want to go help pull some fish nets, empty some toilets, or help tug the lines. We could probably use you on the lines, a guy your size.
I just missed all of that.
Oh, sorry, your internet's okay. So, do you want to? Does your character want to pull lines on the sails for the day, help catch fish, or clean the toilets?
I'll help catch fish by not helping and just instructing.
Got it. All right. So you might want to tug from over there. Got it. All right. So you're just sort of like, yeah, and they're just lowly crewmen too. They might tell on you if it's a consistent thing, but they're not gonna like tell you off. They don't feel like they have any sort of authority over you or anything. So you managed to get by doing it pretty well. Just bossing them around. So yes, while everyone's gets started on work, we'll go ahead and move over to Daisy, and we'll do a quick social encounter with Daisy and the surgeon. So you make your way down to the deck to go and meet the surgeon at the request of the captain. And you find your way into, you open this door and into this little cabin, and you see there are a few cots, or not cots, but hammocks laid around that actually do seem like they have cushions and sheets on them. Like it's actually a much more clean part of the ship. And you see a dwarven woman, I believe. I should have probably put this in my notes. Surgeon, yes. No, a halfling. You see a halfling who she's let's say she's got pale skin, and you can actually see kind of some scars on her hands and arms, like where she might have actually like wounded herself while trying to like do like emergency surgery on like crew members or something. You know what I mean? Like she's got well worked hands, pale white skin. She's got like dark brown hair that's like put into like two braided tails behind her head. She is puffing on like a skinny little halfling leaf cigarette, and making notes in a medical journal that you can tell has like blood stains on it. And she notices you come in, and she hold on, lass. Let me wash my hands real quick. And she goes over and starts gonna wash her hands. She stands up and looks up and steps up to you, looking you eye to eye. You're about the same height. She's like, well, you're a pretty girl. What can I do for you?
Hi, I came to get a new bandages, please.
Oh, you're the one. Oh, I see it. Sorry, didn't recognize you at first. Yeah, I believe I didn't quite see your hand there. I'd asked the captain. I saw you at the party the other night, and I asked the captain to send you on down here. I have something for you.
Oh, you do? Thank you.
Oh yeah, come over here. Sit yourself down. Anyway, how you been? How you enjoying your journey so far?
Oh, it's just the loveliest ship. I love it here. I did not sleep well last night.
Oh, I don't think none of us did. Every time, it's weird. It's every time we come out on the ship, every time we come out on the journey for like the first day, it's rough on us mentally. I don't know
wonder
what
if
it is. Something about this. Something about the sea.
For everyone?
Yeah, everyone. It's been happening for years.
Oh,
It's
that's
actually quite
odd.
common. Yeah, it's quite common among sailors. Many of them don't want to admit it's happening, but they 100% are experiencing it. I can tell by the looks on their eyes. I myself had an awful dream. I kept losing patience over and over. Finally started working on the captain. Lost her. She's probably my best friend. And I lost her. Yeah, it was rough.
I'm
But,
glad it was just a dream.
oh, that's exactly what I was about to say. Glad it was. Anyway, while she's talking to you, she's like kind of like rummaging through drawers and cabinets and stuff. Here it is. She finally pulls out and it looks beat up, but it looks quite functional. She pulls out an iron hand, just size for a halfling or a gnome, and she brings it over to you. And I figured you might need some of this. It's set up. It's got two different modes. You can set it up to a mode where you hold a sword. And it's got set up to a mode where you hold. Let's see. You flick this little lever here and opens your hand out in case you need to shake someone's hand.
Oh, this is just what I need. How much is it?
Oh, it's free. I hate to tell you, one of our old crewmates a couple of years back used to have it. Well, let's just say its previous owner didn't meet the greatest end, but yeah, you could definitely have it. It's all for you. We just gotta get it fitted on you. Oh, I'd get these nasty ass bandages off. Why are you leaving these on there anyway? You ain't got nothing clean.
No, I'm just a peasant.
Why, just a peasant? You saved up enough money for this boat ride. Must have been something quite important that got you off there in Silo.
Yes.
Don't want that. No need to ask, though. Personal business, I bet. Well, let's get you over here. Glad to see you around here. Your hair is amazing.
Thank you. It's hair of flame.
Yes, I see that. It's rare to see among us halfling folks hair this bright. Love seeing it every time. And she, you mind if I see your wrist? I'll go ahead and get this fitted for you.
Yes, and I'll hold up the hand that's not there. The arm.
All right. And she takes the bandage off for you and replaces it with like a fresh wrap after washing it down with like some sort of vinegar solution. She seems to have some sort of basic understanding of the passage of germs, even though germ theory probably was not invented in this world yet. She's still saying she's not full on like, oh yeah, let me just take these bloody hands and start and dive on into the gut of this other person and start working on them. She actually does kind of seem like she keeps things clean in here. But yeah, she gets it nice and fitted, tightened. There's like a little belt that tightens it on the end in two different spots, and you can like there's a little lever on the bottom that you flick between the hand shaking position and the sword holding or the sword or shield holding position. It's like a tight grip. Granted, wielding a sword with it might be a tough thing to adapt to. You would get some penalties. But holding a shield with it, totally possible now.
Well, what if she practices mopping with that hand?
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
Because that's the job she picked.
Yeah, if you want it to be something that your character is like practicing in game, I will, over time lessen the penalties of using it, in situations like that. But yeah, so you are all set. Do you have any questions before I get back to writing my notes? Plus, you probably have some work to do.
Yes, this is free. I don't have to pay you anything.
100% free. Covered by the fact that, let's just say, one halfling to another.
And if I need more bandages, can I come down and get
Oh, of
them?
course. We got plenty of bandages. I'm constantly cutting new ones every day with some of this fabric we got back here. She's got like a roll of linen, and next to a honey pot.
Oh, to make the bandages hard.
Yeah, you
Okay.
make you cure the bandages with the honey before using them. Otherwise, it's like considered like a makeshift bandage, and it's not quite as effective.
Okay, yeah, the ones that she had were makeshift
Yeah, exactly.
and probably really dirty.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, just like some clothes, like she like ripped up.
Yeah.
But yeah, she offers you a mug of Java before you go out to work if you'd like it.
Yes.
If you haven't already drank too much.
Thank you. And what is your name? I'm Daisy.
What is your name? That is a question every DM loves to hear when they are bad with names. Corane Stoll. You can call me Cora.
Thank you, Cora.
Yeah, no problem. And yours, Daisy, right?
Daisy, yes.
Daisy. Daisy. Good to meet you, Daisy.
Good to meet you, Cora.
At some point, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. She was just saying bye, so you can go ahead.
Okay. At some point, I'd like to meet the other halfling you with. Fleetfoot.
Yes, he is very charismatic.
Aye. I'll make sure to watch out for that then. That mustache he's got, quite handsome.
Yes, I wonder if it's a separate person.
Sometimes, yeah. I heard he did some crazy stuff with it at the bar the other night.
Yeah, you should have been there.
All I was just hanging out in the back, tending to some drunkards, you know.
You should take some time off.
You can never take some time off with this rowdy bunch. They're a bunch of clumsy, nonsense-filled morons, if you ask me. Always falling off deck or falling down the frickin' trap doors or something.
I will be careful.
Well, I tell them to be careful every time they come in here. Conk them on the head. Would if I could. If it made the damn difference.
Well, I won't fall. I don't know if she will or not, but...
Well, be careful. Hopefully that mop of yours will help keep you stood up. Takes a few days to get your sea legs.
Well, here's a secret. I'm going to have a weapon like the mop one day.
Oh, yeah. I've seen people use blades with those before. Get pretty good at it.
Yes, I'll just have to keep practicing.
Anyway, if you do find yourself knocked down on the ground, you just come on down here, bandage you right up.
Thank you.
All right, gotta get back
Better
to me
earn my
notes.
coins now. Bye.
Oh yes, and she waves at you and smiles. So you have a new little halfling friend who happens to be really good at medicine, which is handy in this world. All right, so we will go ahead and go on break since it's about the mid mark of the time slot, and then when we get back, I will do some brief descriptions of everyone's work, and then we will move on to something involving our friend Fleetfoot Mac here, who may have heard some rumors this morning that someone on this crew used to be a member of the dreaded Duchovny gang. Not sure who.
Dun dun dun.
And then now we'll go on break with that banger of a cliffhanger.
All right, so everybody go stretch your legs, grab some snacks, hydrate yourself, all that good stuff, and then head on back in 15 minutes, and we'll be right back for the second half.
Excellent.
Okay, and we are back.
All right, everybody. We left off with Daisy getting fitted for a new iron prosthesis for her hand. So now she has an iron hand that's got handshaking action and sword grabbing action. It's pretty awesome. She's all nice and fitted for that. Uh, she was given the option to have one at the start of the game, but like a great role player, she said, "My character's a peasant. Why would she be able to afford that?" So I thought that was super cool. But now we've got one. We're all set up. Um, but yes, she. So we will pick back with. Let's see. Let me look right here. Okay, so everybody is basically just working their asses off, minus Mac and apparently minus Cliff, which by the way, Lance had to step away for the rest of the night, having internet problems and was unable to like kind of even digest a lot of the role playing that was going on. So I kind of don't blame him. So, or not kind of don't. I thoroughly don't blame him because if you can't, we were hearing him fine, but if you can't hear what other people are saying, then it's kind of hard to engage. So we will put his character on autopilot. He is in the back, occasionally tugging a line on a net and mostly just sort of bossing people around, bossing around the fishermen who are, rounding up some fish from the back of the boat. We've got Kata is snacking on veggies and eventually being fussed at for it and chopping away at different foods and stuff with the cook preparing the stew for the evening. And Daisy is practicing with her new prosthesis with the mop, and she's keeping the deck clean, which is something that a lot of ships like this might not take priority over, but the surgeon of the ship, being such a neat freak, insists on it. So that's why it's one of the jobs, the daily ship mopping. And we've got Stace is down hauling crates and sorting them into piles, playing a real life game of Tetris, trying to get everything to fit in the cargo hold with maximum room for everything. You do notice a lot of unmarked cargo boxes, which kind of are just like, I wonder what's in there. But yeah, those ones are asked to be stuffed into the back. You do notice someone while doing that, Flippo. You do notice someone accessing like a hidden cargo hold to stash some smaller, like linen wrapped goods. They if they were to notice you looking, they would kind of shut it quickly and act like they weren't doing anything. But yes, you're generally helping with that. So while all of that's going on, I'll go ahead and give everyone a tick on their peril from working your butt off throughout the day. So if you go on your first tab, you see peril threshold, just tick yourself to imperiled. It doesn't actually affect your skills or anything yet. But it, it's working its way towards it. It's in the skills and attributes tab. But yeah, so everyone gets a tick. Everyone becomes imperiled from the work. While that's going on, we will say, okay, I'll come back to that. All right, so Mac, everyone's working, and that rumor you heard that someone on this ship used to work for the Duchovny gang has caught your interest, I imagine. So if you could go ahead and let's go ahead and look at our skill. Hold on one second. Let me keep closing the character sheet, and I don't know why. There's just so many skills in this game. It's hard to memorize all of them. So let's see. What method would you like to investigate? We've got some options. Might be to eavesdrop or to scrutinize. Like kind of sort of examine people while you're asking. Another option.
Fleetfoot Mac
Go
would
ahead.
definitely cross-examine the folks he's already encountered, and I'm going to put that scrutinize skill to use.
All right, excellent. Scrutinize is great. All right, so and just remember, we have plenty of fortune points. If you would like to use any of them for re-rolls, if you fail. So go ahead and set your difficulty to just standard, and let's just get a standard scrutinize test from you real quick. All right, ooh, nice. Passed it by 3. All right, nice. That's beautiful.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst ever. Sorry.
I thank you for putting this outfit on. I'm sure you probably just put it on normally for today and then just just happened to be wearing it. But
I mean, it is after 6 o'clock. So.
It's fedora hour.
It's fedora hour. A weekend.
Oh my god. No. Yeah. So you So the person seems the person you're talking to is is Kai Vol. We'll say he's the little rat guy, artist guy. He's sitting there painting something, and
You got me, gang, huh? Kai Vol? I think I might know who you're looking for. Huh?
This was easy. Wow.
you passed a test.
Well, yeah, any information regarding that would be greatly appreciated.
Well, Kai Vol knows something, but in exchange for something you ask your friends, well, your travelers.
I could throw a question to the other travelers, but it depends on what you can do, Kaivel. Kaivel.
Kai Vol, yeah.
Yeah, just make sure your name gets as much respect as it deserves.
Yes. Well, Kai Vol knows exactly who you need to talk to. Yes.
And who would that be?
Well, you have to promise me. You ask your who is her name? Kata. You ask a Kata, and you ask a Flipper. You ask him a question for me. I need models for new painting, and I have idea.
Oh,
I would like to have Kata to ride on the back of Flipper with shield and spear, while Flipper also has shield and spear. And I would like to stand on the front of the ship, and I will draw them. I'm very quick artist. You tell them hour tops, but they must stay still. Long as you ask, I tell you. I tell you now, though, just because I'm busy, and I might forget later.
hey, I'll still ask.
Yeah, thank you. See, Jindug, who happens to be another furry-legged one, Grindel. Jindug is he's a crewman. Here, he just served us miscellaneous work. You pick up this, Jindug. Help me carry my paints, Jindug. Kaivo, tell him to carry his paints, and he does it. It's great. That's what he's paid for. You will go ask Jindug. He has one. He has tattoo and everything. Tattoo of bird. You know the one. He directly tell me all about his old gang life, trying to impress Kaivol or something. Not impressed.
Obviously.
I'm only impressed with beautiful works of art. And certain cheeses.
Yeah,
One and the same, I would say.
You're reminded that he is a rat person when he says and certain cheeses.
I mean, of art and dairy byproduct, obviously, this is a person of culture.
Yes.
It always comes back to cheese on the Black Feather Guild, I swear.
I know, cheese is a reoccurring theme here. It's a reoccurring theme with humanity, let's be honest. Cheese.
That's fair.
It's like a wheel.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
I'm sorry, Stace. I'm sorry. I got the Stace nod of disapproval. I'm sorry.
That's
Can I add 4 corruption to my character?
or corruption, if you would like, yes, to make up for the one you made me give you earlier. No, I'm just
Okay.
kidding. Don't do that. It's not for fun.
Kaivel.
Yes.
And Fleetfoot gets the description down. Bird tattoo, talks big game. Not impressed. That don't impress me much, Shania Twain. All right. I will pass on your offer to the other travelers I am with, but I need you to do something for me.
Yes.
I need you
Mhm.
to never let this world take away your appreciation for art and the finer things that don't harm others. You take that cheese,
All
you
of it.
take that heart of yours for art, your art heart,
Art,
you
heart.
keep it tight. And Fleetfoot's gonna you're gonna keep it tight. Close to you.
Kaivel has big art.
Yes, you do, Kaivel. I know you're a busy man.
Very busy.
I'll see you later.
Lots
and
of
Fleetfoot.
projects unfinished.
Oh, so many. Add on. And Fleetfoot, much like his name, out the door with this information.
And he is attempting to show you his unfinished projects as you leave.
No time. You're too busy, Kyle.
He's
Too busy.
flipping through his like different papers with like all these half painted pictures of pirates, painted pictures of
sure
Uh,
pirates.
You have many fans online. I'm very sure of that.
Yes.
Instagram. 12,000 followers.
All right, excellent. So you happen to pass by I forget character's name, sorry. Flippa. You pass by Flippa on your way to go and meet Jin Doug.
So Flippa's been watching for Fleetfoot. So as soon as she sees him, she's going to stage whisper, Fleetfoot, over here.
Fleetfoot is going to turn and head stage left.
Is that toward Flippa or away? Is he like, nah?
You threw out stage directions. I'm just trying to follow. I know. Fleetfoot heads over to Flippa just kind of nonchalantly.
So one of my duties when I become a knight will be to help keep the peace, and I just want you to know that I saw something suspicious. There's a kind of like a closet over there, and it seems like people are storing maybe something illicit inside. Seemed very nervous about it.
Fleetfoot's doing a thing where he's standing next to you but not making eye contact, but just kind of looking off the ship.
Well, I think they're below deck, so you're just staring at the hull.
I'm looking out the hole outside into like the water, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah, there's
see,
a little
like,
window. It's still high enough up to where there's like a porthole.
Illicit like. Illicit or illicit like.
I'm not sure. They just seemed very suspicious and like they didn't want to be noticed. And I know you're looking into the murders.
Okay. Just so we're on the same foot here. There were 3 people found drowned in their cabins before we got on. Who they newly hired, mind you. And then they were looking for new hires on a ship where the previous hires were found mysteriously drowned in their rooms. This entire situation is suspicious.
I mean, you know, if you're not interested in clues, I guess you're not the halfling that I thought you were.
Oh no! It's please do not mistake that for a dissensus at all. I am simply stating that, and he kind of climbs up to your level. There are many mysteries afoot. And to solve them, it's gonna take a fleet. Foot. Me. But this helps. The information you provided me. But
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not sure if it's exactly what we need. Could you investigate that closet more?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be your partner.
Well, partner, we can work out titles and like names for things. I like to kind of keep things. I'm kind of like an investigative anarchist as much as kind of like one who gets paired up. I like the cut of your jib though.
I mean, if you would like, I could try to solve the mystery on my own. Ask some questions.
You know what? A little competition wouldn't be bad. Neither would a red herring. How do you feel about being a distraction?
I've never really liked herring. But sure, I'm generally a distraction. I'm a camel centaur.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Here's the plan. And Fleetfoot leans in and the screen touches the black.
There is no plan. There is no plan.
It never is.
Many minutes pass, many confusing dark minutes on the screen pass by. It's actually like possibly an editing error.
I'm just imagining Fleetfoot like you just see Fleetfoot whispering to Flippa and then Flippa going like, all you said was
We'll fix it in post.
And then the editing error passes. Well, I'm sure half the audience has already left the chat. And you end up right into a conversation with Jin Doug. I heard you're looking for that scumbag Stanley Duchovny.
I was told that you were someone who had information regarding Stanley Duchovny.
And you see this like 6'5", almost like Minotaur person, but with a more a human face. Yeah, so nightmare fuel basically.
A Minotaur.
A Manotaur, yes. You see a Manotaur. He holds up his furry forearms. He's got those like Robin Williams forearms. Rest in peace.
4 of them?
No, just 2. just 2 forearms, furry ones. And you can see a scarred up remnant of the Duchovny gang tattoo. It seems to be self-mutilated.
Looks like something got on your tattoo there.
Yeah. My knife. I hate that bastard. You see this? And he lifts up his we'll say he has like long hair and it was kind of like hanging over his eye. He like lifts it back and you see this big brutal burn scar that kind of comes up the side of it. See this right here?
Mm-hmm.
Stanley Duchovny is responsible for that.
I know Fleetfoot's seen a lot of things. Does this stir him much, or is like he knows the pain and the strife that Stanley Duchovny rots and brings to those who come in contact with him?
For sure. And I actually hold on one second. Let me flip around. You actually have indifference, the talent that or the trait, the talent that lets you just not really like gnarly things like that don't really bother you. Because you've seen so many like murder victims throughout all of your cases and stuff over the years.
So Stanley lifts up his shirt, and just like right on the right side, like probably on like the mid ribs, right on the bone of the rib, he points to a marking on him. And it's a foul, like nearly accursed, offensive image, and it's the tattoo that I got.
Oh
It's a
no!
foul tattoo.
Yes, the vulgar tattoo that you
Yeah.
randomly rolled it during character creation.
And no, and whatever this Manitar sees, he knows that it's vulgar, and he's vulgar by it.
No, he sort of gets in like a bull stance and like,
Stanley Duchovny hurt us a lot of people, but it seems like you and I have much more in common than we like to admit.
We got a whole bunch in common. We do. We both want to see him suffer.
Heard he was 5 days ahead of us on boat.
Yeah, ain't no catching up to him on the ocean here. Can't go much faster than we are going, but as soon as we get on that land, I want to help you bring him in.
You know, destiny's a weird thing, you know? 5 days earlier, he would have been on this boat. If you were early, 5 days later, on his part, he would have been here. It's like you guys just kind of missed each other.
If he would have been on this boat, I would have ripped him from limb to limb.
Is that right?
Oh, that's right. He
Well,
deserves
looks like-
nothing more.
Oh. Well, looks like you already know how to use a knife.
Oh, I know how to use them all right. So now you tell me this.
Yeah.
When we get over there, you gonna let me help you bring him in or what?
You can help me a lot more than you think. But I'm going to need a little bit more convincing before I let someone else join in on the party. First, I'm going to need, and Fleetfoot leans in, and its scene fades to black.
excellent. And some information you get from him is that Stanley has had his eye on a restaurateur that lives in Reykjavik. They are the owner of the Briny Boar, so that is a clue I will put. I'll actually set up a whole separate story clues thing for Stanley Duchovny for you in the chat here. So we'll have main story clues and then Stanley Duchovny clues, and then this is one of them. So you know you might be able to find him at the Briny Boar over in the city you're headed in. It turns out those people have had a love of, or it turns out Stanley and this restaurateur, whom he doesn't know the name of, has had a love affair before, and they've been communicating by letter this whole time. He knows because he used to have to deliver the letters to the post office for him. But yes, he's desperate to see this person, so it's likely that we can find him floating around there. All right, and then so we will. I'm just looking at time. Okay, we've got a little less than 30 minutes. All right, so this happens to both Kata and Flippa. While you're working down in the all right, so we'll just set up each of your scene a little separately. So Kata, just as you're going to carry a cutting board of ingredients over to the pot to dump in, this happens to you. And Flippa, you're on your way, you find an opening to go and investigate that hidden hatch, right? And you're over there, you're about to, like, you know, open it up with possibly one of your back legs. You're sort of blocking it with your hump. and this happens to you. You get the sudden feeling that you're drowning. You gasp for air, interrupted by the feeling of a briny liquid filling up your lungs. The pressure on your chest is immense as you try to breathe through what feels like a stone wall. You collapse on the deck, almost okay, never mind. You collapse on the deck. The terrifying sensation is compounded by the overwhelming sound of something from the deep, something guttural, something unknown. And I actually have that sound right here. I'm gonna kind of crank it up, so be warned, this might be a little
All right.
on the louder end, but
The-
not too much louder. What?
Sorry,
What's
this is
that?
happening to Kata or Flippa? Sorry,
Both.
both at the same time. Okay.
Yeah, both at the same time on two separate parts of the ship. Um, and so you basically are feeling. So you get the feeling that you're drowning and gasping for air, and there's this heavy weight on your chest as you're trying to breathe, and then you collapse, almost falling into something dangerous. So in your case, you almost fall into the stew itself. The terrifying sensation is compounded by the sound of something from the deep, something guttural, something unknown. You gasp and gasp. Your ears are overwhelmed with this infernal sound. It goes on for what seems like an eternity, really. Like you should have died by now from not being able to breathe. But then,
That is unsettling.
yeah, then it suddenly stops, and you are lifted onto your feet by a crewmate asking if you're all right. So we'll go, Kata, you are lifted up by the cook. And she says, are you okay? You seem like you passed out.
I I'm not sure what happened. Suddenly I was felt like I was drowning, or is there? There's no water. Did you not
Oh,
hear that noise?
everything is dry. I did not hear anything. Just the boiling of the stew.
This is quite peculiar and very unsettling. Um, is it common to have nightmares and strange visions while in this part of the ocean?
Oh, it it is indeed. Uh, it's some say that the ocean is cursed by Leviathan himself.
Well, what I heard could certainly be described as some sort of leviathan or creature or something.
You ever thought possibly why much of the ships don't take you across the sea and just sort of take you up the coast? And this is why. Some people can't stomach it. Most of us on this ship are used to the nightmares. This I have not seen before, though. You say you felt like you were drowned?
Yes, it could get no air coming in, and it felt like pressure
Oh,
inside my lungs.
yes, sir. Here, she like takes a pot and puts it over the fire she has roaring, and starts to pour some water in it, and some squirt some lemon juice from some fresh lemons down in it, and some throw some like leaves of some like maybe some mint leaves down in it, and gets it real hot and to where it has a rolling boil, and then she just hands it to you. Hold this in front of your face, breathe it in.
All right, I will give it a try. Um,
And this seems to
yeah,
actually help a bit with your lack of breath.
yeah. Kata just sort of slowly inhales and exhales rather not like exaggeratedly, but just very noticeably, um, and looks to the crew person and is just um, sort of still has that crease in her brow, but goes, I think this is helping. Thank you. But
Take a
that's very
break.
peculiar. You said this sort of thing while one is awake. That's not normal.
I don't know. This feeling like you're drowning and hearing loud noises is something I have not heard any of my crewmates report before. Um, it sounds quite terrifying. Hopefully, this is not something new that the sea is doing to us now.
Perhaps we should check with the rest of the crew and make sure everyone else is how do you say, well?
Yes, I'll make sure to let the surgeon know. Maybe she can go around asking people. She is the best for that.
This is, I think, wise.
And we will transition over to the scene of Flippa being lifted up by just because of your four-leggedness. It takes a couple of crew members to lift you up. You're not particularly like large or heavy or anything. It's just a little bit of awkward to lift you. And they lift you up. You're more like an alpaca person in terms of your size, and then a camel. But they lift you up, and while you are still trying to catch your breath and still recovering from what just happened to you, you do have the wherewithal to notice that they conveniently position you to where you're not looking at that hatch anymore, because you were headed right towards it and you've collapsed right next to it. So they've like lifted you up and even kind of moved you away from it a bit and have you pointed in the opposite direction from where the hatch is. It seems to be just like a little small trap door on the wall. But let's see who lifted you up. Oh yeah, probably you are right there.
I think I was almost murdered.
Who do you think around here could have murdered you? We were all just working just like you.
I felt like I was drowning just standing here, and the other crewmates died drowning in their beds. So I think that maybe someone tried to murder me.
Well, I don't know of anybody around here that practices mysticism, but it could be something up with something new that the sea has decided to throw at us during our journey. Terrible happenings are quite common on this trip.
That's not reassuring.
No, it's not.
Have you ever felt like you were drowning for no reason?
Not particular, but I did feel like I had a strong pressure on my bones one time. I felt almost crushed. I even believe my wrists were impacted by it. They were a little sore afterwards. Couple of my other joints. It happened a couple of journeys ago. Hadn't happened since. Thought it might have been a health problem. Maybe it's the sea acting up again.
What do you mean the sea acting up again?
Well, I don't know if you consider yourself a person of the water, but isn't necessarily too uncommonly known that this is a dangerous journey, not just because of pirates, but because of strange happenings. You see, and occasionally it seems like it's a little worse than other times. Sometimes we just deal with marauders on a journey and blow them away out of the water with our new cannons that we picked up a couple of trips ago. But there are some other, like I said, strange happenings that occur sometimes at high frequency during journeys. This might be looking like it's one of them journeys, where we're going to experience a lot of strangeness. Just
Well,
hopefully nothing this major. You said you felt like you was damn drowning. I personally actually have almost drowned before, and it was awful.
I think I might go talk to the doctor about this, actually.
Oh, that's a smart move. She's one to talk to when you're having problems. She's quite a good listener, quite a good brain on her too. She knows quite a bit.
Flip is like walking away.
Yeah.
Thank you for picking me up. I gotta go.
Yeah, no problem.
And out of the corner of your eye, you notice them sort of having like a sort of quiet conversation around where the trap door was. Can't quite.
Ooh.
If you want to roll eavesdrop, to see if you can
know.
pick up what they were saying. Even if you don't have ranks in it, you can still roll it. It's in
Okay.
the perception. You can make just a standard eavesdrop test. Oh shit, that's good. 637. Okay. Yeah, they did, did she was she messing around in there? The other guy's like, well, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I saw nothing. Don't think I saw her messing around with nothing. I mean, she was walking towards over it. Maybe she was just going to take a little rest or something in the corner. Maybe we're just being paranoid for no reason. Uh, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. All right, well, if one of them comes down here working in the cargo hold again, maybe we give them a job on the other side of the room, right? And then it's about the last thing you hear as you're walking up. And you head over towards the surgeon to report your stuff. And I is that where you think Kata would have head next
I
as
think
well?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so you two we will just because of time constraints, we'll say that you report what happened to the surgeon, and she says she's tonight when her shift ends, she's gonna go around below deck where everyone's relaxing at and find out if that's happened to anyone else. But she hasn't gotten any reports of that specific thing happening to anyone on any journeys, and she's been on 10 voyages so far.
Okay.
Which normally there's like many months in between, but for some reason they seem like very, very much in a hurry to get back out into the sea. Like they were only here less than a day. They normally will take a few months off before they go back out in the water. So that's something that's also suspicious. And anyway, so later on that day, Kata and Daisy, this is after your work shift, you're socializing on the top of the deck, overlooking. You might not be at the edge considering what just happened to you, but you're definitely overlooking the water. We'll go ahead and this is, and so this is something that will happen more often. I'm going to try and squeeze in random encounters every now and then as a way to, they're not necessarily combat. In fact, in this case, I have made note to do a non-combat one specifically, especially with our time. But yeah, so there's one theme I want to start bringing into the game more often is because of the exploration hex crawl vibe that it kind of the mystery. So I've rolled a 31 and I'm going to consult a chart here. Something very strange happens on an island that you're passing by. It's a small island. You notice the waves are just hitting the rocks of it's almost like just some boulders jutting out of the sea, like with a few, maybe even like a tree growing on it or something. That's weird how that get there. But the waves are crashing against the island, and you and Daisy peer out, and you see the water start to recede all of a sudden, almost like when both of you are lock eyes on the island.
Okay.
It recedes and reveals a wrecked ship, and then it recedes and recedes and recedes and comes out maybe like 200 feet, revealing just empty sloping shoreline. Fish flapping around, crabs running around from one hole to another. You're fairly close to this as you're passing it, and then you see the water comes back up, and engulfs the ship again, but then doesn't stop. It seems to just keep rising and rising and rising, completely covering the island, and then it just rushes back down, causing an obvious tsunami. But the tsunami is headed in the opposite direction that you're coming from. So it's like headed towards Silo. Opposite direction where you come from. Shut up, that's a contradiction. The opposite direction of where you're going. But yeah, so the water comes up and just sort of splashes over the wrecked ship again and just sends a tsunami towards Silo.
Kata leans over to Daisy and says, this may sound weird, but you saw that as well, yes?
Yes, I saw that. That was not normal, correct?
I was going to say, I am no sailor, but that seems very improbable.
You do see, you do hear some people, an uproar of people towards the rear of the ship as they see it as well. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What is that? What was that? Oh, that's headed right towards town.
Kata will try to wave one of those sailors down and see if she can get one of their attention.
Yeah, it's actually the ship's navigator, pilot, Lelia Naio, the elf, whom you encountered, I believe, one of the first days, who was drawing maps. She comes running down towards the front of the ship. Did anyone see that? What just happened? Did anyone see where it come from?
Yes, I wanted to wave you down. There was, I'm struggling with the words. Daisy, could you describe what we saw?
Uh, um, sorry, out of character. I should be able to describe this, but I'm.
It was a giant, basically a water receded. Well, you could just say you describe what happened. That's fine.
Yeah, Daisy describes what happens.
Yeah, no, that's a perfectly fine. It's late. The water, yeah, just a short description. The water receded and revealed a bunch of shoreline, then came back up and completely overwhelmed the shipwreck that it had revealed, and completely covered the island as well, and then rushed back out into the ocean, almost like someone pushed it down, like, and then it comes rushing back out and created a tsunami, which appears as the water line rising up really high. It's not like kind of like a comical giant wave like you would expect. But yeah, you see the water line basically just rise up in this almost like a cone effect, like in the ocean, and it just is headed towards the rear of the ship back to the town that you're coming from.
Does that happen often?
No, that's never happened. In fact, we've never taken this path before, but the people who have taken it have never told us anything about that island or a shipwreck on it. We need to get out of here quite quickly.
Is the town okay?
That's not something I don't think we will know for sure until quite some time from now, after we make landfall in Regulid. I need to go and find us some wind. We need to get out of here quick. Thank you for letting me know what happened. You just looked out and saw it. That's amazing.
Yes.
Amazing and terrifying.
Yeah, I was just resting after mopping.
Well, continue to rest as your shift is over. Thank you again for both telling me. And then she sort of runs back up to where like the steering wheel is, and gets her assistant to go down there and find some wind, damn it, and sends them down there. And the night sail crew who runs the sails is like, trying to basically position. They're yelling at each other and stuff, and I'd say a couple more hours pass, and it's probably about 9, 10 p.m. and Um, all of you are just out to get some fresh air. It's kind of often that you might want to get some fresh air just because of how the crew smells. But you're all out getting some fresh air, and very cinematically as a group, the camera's looking on at you as you come walking up the front of the ship. Starboard bow, whatever the fuck it's called. I have no idea. Pardon my French. You come. I just hate that I don't know ship names. I need to memorize them. You come walking up to the front, and then the camera
That
sort
would be
of
the bow, yeah.
yeah, the bow. The camera sort of twists around and comes back over your head, almost like a drone shot, and reveals everyone in complete awe of an enormous and deadly tempest cloud that crackles excitedly with thunderous energy on the horizon ahead. Your ship and crew will surely have a rough couple of days in store for them. The malignant energy that is exuded in the air from the tempest is coursing through your bones. Everyone get 2 corruption for witnessing it. All right, and that's where we will go ahead and end, with everyone onlooking a deadly tempest that fills the sky ahead.
I feel like Kata at this point is like, yes, can we stop the ride? I'd like to get off.
Yes, and just to let you know, you're like already like pretty much 2 days journey out into the water to like, you can I borrow one of these small boats? I will just start. What was the chant again? What do I chant? You know, just start chanting what the old guy in the boat was chanting. Just maybe that'll get you there faster.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so we will go ahead and end there with a little bit of time to spare for me to go ahead and tell you how corruption works. So what I do at the end of every session is I roll a d10, and for each of you that gets, all right, so basically I roll a d10 and we consult the number. If the number is equal to or less the amount of corruption you have, then you get an order rank. And if it's more than your current corruption number, then you get a chaos rank. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll a d10 and just consult your corruption number at the very top of your character sheet. And I got a 9, which means everyone gets an order rank because I rolled high.
Okay.
And I'm also, go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say, do we do anything with the corruption points, or do they just stay there?
Oh, so yes, sorry, that is important. So once you put the order rank in, reset your corruption down to 0. Corruption resets at the end of every session.
Okay.
I also am going to give you all 1 reputation point for acquiring the sales during last session.
Okay.
And basically just and most of you just being of general help on the ship, and even those of you that aren't working, and i.e. Mac. Mac is still trying to investigate like a potential crime on the ship, so you're all being very helpful. So just from, them being sailors that get everywhere and run their mouths drunkenly, you all gain a reputation point. Which reputation points are at too low of a number right now to be spent, but once they get a little higher, you can actually spend them for like acquisitions. Like maybe your reputation's high enough for someone to like give you a property or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, cool.
You can just exchange them for stuff. It's pretty cool. It's an alternate system that I really, really like once I read it. And everybody go ahead and give yourselves 150 reward points as well. So go to the section of your character sheet titled Rewards and Tiers and add 150 to your current reward points, which should bring most of you up to 200. And then add 150 to your total reward points, which should bring you all to 1,600. And you all know how to spend those as we did before the session started. So,
Yeah.
And just another reminder, make sure if you spend a dot that you then go to the first tab on your character sheet and put the dot somewhere, because it won't do it for you automatically. But anyway, the end. Have fun. Enjoy your Friday. The rest of it. I had fun.
That was great. Yeah, we're gonna go on a raid here in just a second. Before we do, though, we'll let everybody talk about what their favorite part of the session was, where we can find them, and anything else they'd like to plug. We'll go reverse order, so we'll start with Leland.
All right. My favorite part was being complimented by everyone while we were on break about my GMing. That was my favorite part. We should do more of that. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I did really enjoy that. That made me blush. I don't know if you can tell. But anyway, my favorite part, and it's hard to say. It's all my baby basically. Like and just coming. I wake up in the morning. I lay in bed and I get on my little memo app and I like write the outline for the game before the day before it happens or the day of it happens, and then try and refine it a little bit. And it's always cool to see something like that just get come to fruition and to see how you all react with some of the stuff I come up with. But I really enjoyed just specifically just all the role playing conversations we had. I always enjoy in character conversations, so any of that was really good. Specifically, uh, there was no specifics. It was all really good. Everybody did an awesome job of role playing for sure. Um, and as far as where you can find me next goes, well, I had to back down and be a part-time player in the water game, as I have not played yet, but I intend to play this coming Tuesday, hopefully. But yes, go and check that out. Tuesday at the same time slot, Subnautica themed role-playing game, which has evolved into so much more than that, I feel like, at this point. And yeah, great crew. So come and check that out. It's water, all caps. I don't know if it stands for something, but it's cool because it's all caps. But yes, and I wanted to plug my Twitter contest, which I think I sent Raven a link through Discord earlier
Yeah, let me
to
grab
post
that.
in the chat. Yeah, if you could grab that. I'm hosting a Twitter contest that ends on March 5th. And I will be awarding. I encourage everybody to enter, even if you're in this game right now with me. I am going to be giving away either $75 to your account, any of your Cash App accounts that I have, which is just Venmo and PayPal, or which I guess I could set up another one if I needed. Or if you don't have anything like that, I'm perfectly willing to go and buy a Visa gift card off the internet and email you the code and everything for it. So, but yeah, $75. I was gonna buy $75 worth of crap and send it to you, like role playing crap, but then I was like, man, there's a fucking pandemic going on. People might just need $75, you know? And
It's fair.
I get and I get paid around that time, so I'm just basically I picked up another job to help market a Kickstarter, which I need to plug in just a second for this month. So we'll take it out of that extra bonus for that Kickstarter. Speaking of that Kickstarter, I plugged it earlier, and I'm gonna plug it again. K Wood Publishing has an awesome Kickstarter going on right now, which there's tons of other ones, as well as which I just realized I could plug that one too. But anyway, there is a Kickstarter going on. If you are a D&D player, or even just a D&D adjacent player and you want ideas for monsters, there's a monster manual called Monsters of the Wilderness by K Wood Publishing, and the art is done by the artist who did Captain Harry at Saltblade for us. He's an amazing comic artist. Go and check that out. Super cool ideas in there. Monsters of the Wilderness. And also a good friend of mine, Matt Jowett, is creating his own rules light, action heavy, Western action movie RPG called Kill Today, Die Tomorrow. That is on Kickstarter right now as well, part of Zine Quest 3, whatever the hell that is. It sounds cool too. Check out the other Zine Quests.
Cool name though.
Yeah, Kill Today, Die Tomorrow. It's got some great art, great internal art. It's basically like it's not like one of those one-page RPGs, it doesn't seem like, but it seems like one of those little pamphlet RPGs. But yeah, you can grab a fistful of D6s and roll them. But yeah, that's apparently it seems really cool. I've actually backed that recently myself. So if you like cowboys, go and check that out. And yeah, I'm done. Just had a great time. Thank you for being here.
Next we've got Nikki. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And anything else you'd like to share and or plug?
Um, I liked all of it. It was a lot of fun, like coming up with the nightmares and just this crew is really interesting. Like I like all the just like everything basically.
Awesome.
And I probably should plug some stuff I have. I think it's my busy week coming up as long as everything goes on as planned. And I have a schedule on my Twitter. It's several games on different channels. So I hope to see you all this week or this coming week.
Fantastic. Next, I'm gonna go last so I can take us into the raid right after I get done. So we'll hop over to Stace next. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And anything else you'd like to share?
All right, my favorite part. I have to say, my favorite part for my character was definitely the convo with Fleetfoot. That was a lot of fun. Gonna figure out new ways to get under Fleetfoot's skin for sure. So yeah, I'll be mulling that over throughout the week. But I think overall my favorite part of the episode was the doctor and Daisy. I thought that was just a really great conversation. It seemed really natural. Voice was great, characterization was great. So it was fun to sit back and just sort of watch that. As for me, you can find me on Twitter at Stace Windu. I keep it pretty simple. And you can also find me on the podcast Explorers Wanted. It's a weekly Numenera actual play podcast. It's tightly edited, character driven, and we're in our second season. You can start back at the beginning of the first season if you would like, or we did do a sort of recap trailer for season 2 if you just want to jump in there. But I strongly recommend anyone checking it out. Really starts from the beginning at this point. And yeah, that drops every Wednesday. So download it wherever podcasts are given away for free.
Awesome. Then next, Nathan, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else you'd like to share?
Hey, what's up? It's me. I really enjoy the slow unfolding of this world. If not just this perilous seafaring path that the GM has laid before us. You can find me on Twitter under What Is Kiss, where I sometimes post about where I stream sometimes. Currently on a big kick where I'm playing Overwatch in my underwear. You can come check me out, give me some money, and while I do that, you can also catch me on some podcasts and some actual plays for D&D 5e and other TTRPGs. But yeah, that's all I got.
All right. And then also definitely go follow Par over at Mr. Par 4E on Twitter. Um, Absolutely just fantastic person and great role player. Definitely want to give him a follow and hopefully he'll be back next week. And hopefully internet issues won't crop up again. Those are
He's got a
I know
Twitch
those are
channel too, I think. So check that out.
Yes, I know I think it's just Mr. Par on Twitch, no
Yeah, I think
4E. Um, yeah, also check that out. And then for me, my favorite part, God, there's so many really good moments. I really enjoyed all the nightmares. That was a lot of fun. Um, I enjoyed hearing all of them, and then getting to do mine was also um, just a blast. Anytime I have an opportunity to throw a coffee joke in there, it's just a good time. And then aside from that, uh, yeah, I also really liked the surgeon and Daisy interaction. That was really good. I loved the bit with Fleetwood, or not Fleetwood, Fleetfoot. I'm gonna do that all the time as well. Fleetfoot, with the fading to black screen, just as you're about to hear the plan. That was a great bit. But yeah, the whole thing was just a lot of fun. And I'm very concerned about the whole tsunami thing and like Flippa and Kata feeling like they were gonna drown and oh so many concerns going into next week. But I'm excited. But yeah, we're gonna go on a raid. Our raid cry is "Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious," and just gonna double check that who we're raiding is still live. And it looks like they are. My Twitch is just freezing a lot. Yeah, they're still live. Cool. So we're gonna go raid Stella Luna. They're super awesome. Definitely give her a follow if you're not doing so already, and say hello. They're doing some tabletop over there. It looks like they've got a pretty great group, and a really good looking overlay as well. So go say don't be suspicious. Give them a follow, and we will see you all next week for this show. And then I forgot to mention where you can find me next. I will be producing Time Travelers tomorrow at noon Mountain Time, right back here. And we've got a special guest that's going to be there this week, so definitely check that out. And then I'll be GMing Animus Absentus at 6 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow. So I will see you all then. Bye, everybody.